careful of those island boys. Little girl, use your head. They will tear you up like a paper toy. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, no, no, no. When they smile at you, darling, and wink, it's a lethal force that'll bring you down. Trying to get you tipsy like a drink. Love drunk girls all over.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Rumbi.
Welcome to
It's Layered. We're in a long distance friendship that started nearly 20 years ago when we were in high school.
We'll be talking about all things life, love, family, anything and everything else under the sun.
Delve deeper with us, because in life, you know, zvinemalayers.
Yes. Upon layers. How are you, girl, since we last spoke?
I'm good. How are you? What's been popping?
As I sip on my tea, I was just thinking I just did my hair, so I've got a little bit of a headache.
I am not my hair. I am not my skin. I am
no.
That lives.
I'm like a good hype man.
Yeah, you really are for ratchet behavior. Like I can do the most, and you're just like, yeah. No, I'm joking. No, you're not a hype woman for ratchetness. That's for sure. But you know, I feel you on that hair thing, man. Hair. It's like.
Yeah, we need to delve deeper into hair. How was your hair journey been, Rumbi?
It's been interesting. I think it's evolved from pain. I just remember being a kid sitting in hair salons, which is dawns were like being pulled, like side to side, and relaxer, getting burns, and like so it's been a love-hate relationship of like what is good hair, what is bad hair. But I've been fortunate to have pretty great hair, like genetically, so that's been a plus side. But I think every Black girl knows that the journey of hair is it's not an easy one. It's layered. Like
it's so layered.
It's layered like
so...
Yes. What about your journey?
I'm the same as you. Like, I feel like I have done it all. Okay, maybe like I had short hair when I got tired of it. Like in school, I think my mom was just like, get a Zuda. And I was like, get I? Like, because I was tired. Get I, catch this hair. And then she just went, boom, and just cut it all. So I rocked very short hair for a while because I just, I was tired of every Sunday or every second Sunday getting my hair threaded or cornrowed, and it was just painful. And then in high school, it was very like primitive in terms of the choices we had. You either had to have it in cornrows, neat cornrows, or you had to have it relaxed and then try and manage it in a high school setting with swimming, with putting oil on your scalp. Like, it doesn't even work. And they didn't really allow us to have our hair in natural states, like short, almost Zuda, which Zuda is such a vibe.
It is.
But we weren't allowed to do. And so, and
they
then when
allowed
we got
us
to like
have singles, like at some point with our hair.
Yeah, exactly. Singles, yes. And that was like a big thing because when you're older, and then obviously you're getting braided, and it had to be the normal colors. You couldn't do any funky colors. So I think that also kind of became a problematic time because it was like I was trying to know my hair, but everything else was pushing against getting to know it. Uni liberation. I got time to try and do all these things I'd never done. But in Australia, of course, there's not as many salons for Black people. So that also was limiting. But it was I still got to know all about weaves and wigs. And so that's interesting. And Korea, I think it's just a mix now. Now I just do what I want.
And you gonna get what you gonna get, fam?
Yeah, what I feel like doing.
No, I'm with you. And similarly, I think for me, like university, though I was mostly about like convenience and like longevity, I was mostly in braids, to be honest. University, for my work career, I started off with relaxed, then heavily into braids, and then I went natural. And as you can see, well, I don't know if you can see, now I am a locked queen, or as Zimbabwean Windies will call me, yes, Murasta.
Marasta. Hey, you've arrived, Marasta.
Literally, like the first day I got my locks like done, I stepped out the hair salon trying to catch my combi home. And then they're like, hey, Mrasta, where? And I'm just like, bruh, it's so quick. The change was
wow. But even for me, like when I go home and if I have a weave it, they're like, hey, I like your Brazilian. You're like,
not every weave is Brazilian.
But I appreciate you, boo. Thank you. So Zimbabweans, this say being quite comical when it comes to hair and the interpretation of hairstyles.
I'm dead.
But so you mentioned how your hair was always genetically you're blessed. So what type of hair would you say? Like, is it soft, easy to manage?
Yeah. So I don't know if everyone knows, but there are different scales of hair type depending on how coily it is. It's either straight or like if it's really coily, then it's like more 4C. So I'm definitely 4C, but my hair is quite soft. Like my edges are sensitive and like, but you know, all hair is sensitive. It's relatively soft, but it's a lot. And before I knew how to manage it, very thick. Before I knew how to manage it, I just really like thought it was like a war zone, especially when you were relaxed. When I would relax it, and then the growth part, you know, that fighting with growth.
And when you're transitioning as well, like you said, you went to natural. That's always an awkward phase.
Oh gosh,
when you kind of like have half and half. You start thinking of cutting it or something.
It was terrible. But thankfully, like on both sides of my family, like they have pretty good hair, so it grows like pretty well, and you know. So yeah. And what about you? On what scale?
You were blessed. You were blessed, my love, because I have true 4C hair, like they, like you know that movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, and the Khoisan people have that little. That is me. My Bantu people be feeling me because that is me. Like
I'm with you.
Yeah, my hair is not easy to manage. Funny enough, it is soft, but it's just very coarse. Like in terms of, it gets very dry. Like you can touch it and it's soft, but it's so dry. It's like it seeps all the moisture. Like so it makes it so you have to be. And then when you have hair like that, you can suffer a lot of breakage, right? And then to top it all off, it's very thin and very sparse. Like shungu ponies. For those who don't know what a shungu pony is, it's when you're really shungu means hope. You're really hoping that this pony is like nice and thick and luscious.
Forcing the funk.
You're forcing it. So that is me. But I love it. The way it is, I've learned to love it. I must say, even moving, like learning to leaving a hairdresser. Like in Perth, I had a very loyal hairdresser I went to. She was really good. But then when I moved here, I was like, ooh, and people were listening in diaspora would know, when you find that good hairdresser, it's like finding you just, you hold on, you know. She never used to like cancel appointments, doesn't overcharge, all those kind of things when you go to an African salon. But so when I came here, I just made a vow to myself to start learning my own and doing my own hair. And thank you, YouTube. This journey has been lovely, and all the tutorials, and I'm learning to love my hair. So now, do I say it's easy to manage? Yes, it is.
And you're killing it. Like I was asking you earlier about how you did the shame, girl.
Thanks. Maybe I'll do a tutorial. You know, it's layered podcast here. Tutorial. It's layered.
No, but I feel you. Like, definitely learning I've learned to love and learn how to take care of it. What's good for my hair, what's not, what I like. And the thing is, there's a misconception that our hair is just strong because it's coarse or drier. That's definitely not the truth. Yeah, man. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the whole wig weave movement? Sorry, my hot water bottle's leaking, guys. I'm that cold.
Yeah, we are not.
It legit.
Anyways, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm
Oh
fine.
no! Don't burn yourself.
No, it didn't burn me. Thank goodness. Sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay.
Come back.
I'm obviously wearing weaves and wigs and all that stuff. So I suppose I hate that it's become team this, team that,
Oh yeah.
as opposed to a spectrum. Because for me, sometimes it's good for me to let my hair out and because my hair is naturally thin,
Yeah.
I don't really full on relax it because it would just be thinner. So but sometimes because it gets too coarse to really brush, I have to texturize, which is like the happy medium.
Yeah.
I try, obviously try not to use too much heat, use more traditional ways like threading, African threading, my buns, as we call them, really helps to stretch out and without using heat. But like little things like that I do. But then because of that, I find, I don't want to say I'm team weaves, team wigs, but at the same time, I also do protective styles. So I feel like I'm in every team.
Yeah.
Every team, I'm there. But like, I just take it like it's fun. But I feel like nowadays people are so
gung-ho.
Yeah, so passionate about it to the point where it's not inclusive at all.
Not at all. And I think my problem with the team's mentality is they seek to define you based on those teams. Like for me, when I went natural, or now that I have, locks, people will be like, oh, so you're like Erykah Badu, soul sister. And I'm just like...
Erykah Badu, yes.
Yeah, like it kills me. Firstly, I don't listen to Erykah Badu. No hate on her. I just don't gel with her music. But like, you know what I mean? Like people have this automatic assumption. So I think people like teams because it's easier to put someone in a box and be like, oh, so if she's this, she's this kind of person, type of thing. And I'm like, no, I just went with something that was convenient for me, that I like, that I feel speaks to me and who I am. And this is how I want to. Because what people miss is that how we present ourselves is how we want to portray ourselves in the world. So if someone wants to portray themselves in the world a certain way, that's how they want to portray themselves, and how, it's just who you want to be. And it's just a part of you. It's not good. Like India said, India Ari, I am not my hair. It's not the full construct. It is a portion of who you are. No, I feel you.
Yeah. And I feel like it's unfortunate because some of it as well is choices we don't make ourselves. Like a lot of people who'll be listening in who are not based like where they're here, like not based in Africa, for example. And then like here in Australia, there's not as many salons. So I had to learn how to do my own hair. So then I start to think, what's easier? Is it braiding it easier, like braiding myself? Or is putting a weave or wig on easier? It's also expenses, right? Yeah, if you want to get someone to braid your hair, that's a whole day's work, and they'll easily charge you upwards of 500 Australian dollars, upwards of 600, 700 to get your just braids, thick braids done. So then it's like, okay, well, obviously getting a weave when you're out in an hour and a half, and also it's cheaper. So it's almost like the machine of where you are, wherever you're based, also kind of helps you decide and I'm sure for you, when you were leaving Zim and you decided to go for locks, it's because you were thinking long term, what am I going to do with my hair?
Yeah, maintenance for sure. It's like, I know I can make it work for myself. I also, I loved my natural hair, but I just felt it was a lot of time and work, and I was scared of the weather here that, my natural hair, if I just had it out, would just not be a happy camper. So I thought locks would be a good sort of medium where they, just grow. I let them be for the most part, and then style every so often. And yeah, that was definitely a conscious thought about it, because again, like there are not many Black people, the fight to find a hair salon that could do my hair already was just like a mission. So it's just one of those things, tots. I'm with you 110%.
But as much as I enjoy like weaves and wigs, I'm definitely all about aesthetics. So if the weave or wig looks like it's just needing Jesus, then I'm not there for it. Same as the braids. If the braids look like they've been kept in for longer than 6 to 8 weeks and they're hanging on for dear life, I'm not there for it. So I guess aesthetics. I guess I'm also team healthy hair. Like it has to look banging. Like your hair is your crown, right? So whether you're like totally bald or you have a full head of hair and everyone in clean. It just has to look healthy and fresh.
And I'm totally with you. And I think that's why, for me, being able to manage my own hair has always been important, because I don't like to be dependent on someone else. But now I have to, now it's time to wait for an appointment, or like, I know I can at least do something for myself so that my hair doesn't look tired, or it doesn't look like, whoa, girl, like, damaged. Are you okay? Or it doesn't get damaged. So that was also why I chose to go for, natural, and then my locks, and also figuring it out. Also, it helped me get to learn myself more, where hair wasn't something other that someone else deals with. It's like a part of me, and so there's so many layers to hair. Like, hair is such a complex.
We could go on, because you're right. Like, even for me, like, I guess also tying in with like fashion and stuff, hair is a fun space for me. So I think that's why I love the wigs and the weaves as well, because and incorporating them in a good, healthy way, because I love, like, if I want to have a different hair color, I don't necessarily have to color my own hair. Like, I see a lot of Caucasian ladies color their hair, bleach their hair to get blonde or whatever. And I'm sure right now in quarantine, they're really hating not going to the salon.
For sure.
And all that stuff. But for me, it's like, oh, okay, if I want to be blonde or see what I look like, you can just
switch it up.
If you want to have 30-inch, you can just, if you want to have a pixie bob, you can just.
I'm with you.
Fun. Definitely my husband and a lot of my friends are always joking around with me saying, you're like a different person. And I think it's true. When you have sexy hair, you might have that vibe. When you have more of a pixie, you might have, that vibe as well. So I do. And I love protective styles, like all your box braids, all of that. It's just, it just adds so much flavor.
For sure. Box braids are my jam. I miss them. I really do. Like, they were my thing, because I was like, I don't have to spend all day in the hair salon, and I can look cute. Like, the comeback of the box braids was the best thing that they could do for us.
Now, poetic justice.
Hey, Anna Janet Jackson there.
Oh God.
You spoke about bleaching. Have you ever tried bleaching your hair before?
Oof, I've never tried like from a box, like a bottle, like peroxide. Call it. I've tried natural bleaching, like when you use lemon and your hair naturally starts to become lighter, like in the sun, a lighter brown.
I guess
eventually. But it wasn't really like, I couldn't really say I have. Obviously, I have relaxed my hair before, so that's some chemicals in your hair. And I think it's quite sad, because when we're kids, our moms decide.
This is true.
And you might not get such a say. And I don't know, like, sometimes I think if I could decide for myself, you're so young. But at the same time, when I grew up in the 90s, it was not cool to really have your African natural hair. So now I feel like, if I could redo it in this time, protective styles all
the way. I feel you.
But back then it was just like about easy management and trying to conform and fit in. And like, I think I got the relaxer way too early.
And I think also our parents, like our moms, it's just like, imagine fighting with a kid to brush their hair. Like, also, it's just like a mission. Who wants that? Nope.
You had very beautiful hair in high school, Rumbi. I remember you had your hair relaxed. It was nice and long. It was beautiful.
Thank you. And I'm grateful for that. It just made it manageable, because even if it started looking a bit like unrelaxed, I just put it in a pony. Like, that really helped in a lot of ways. So I guess also kudos to my mom, because I did think of coloring my hair after O-level exams, and she was like, Jack, you can't. Like, she legit, I wanted to like, and she's like, no, you're going to damage your hair. And kudos to her, because I think it saved my hair in the long run.
Have you ever tried to bleach it?
No, but I want to. I just want my locks to grow longer, and then I want to experiment with some color. Not too much, but like, I have some thoughts of what I want to do and see. I'm praying they don't fall off, but also locks hair is
they have this hair wax you can use as well now. That kind of, you can see what the color would look like, and then you just washes it.
Oh, okay.
So you can, I'll hook you up. Anyone listening, we'll hook you up with these.
Use a plug.
These things. With these plugs.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I love everyone's like, we've been there, done that.
Yeah, I know. And Ruby's like, oh, thanks, girl. But yeah, what do you think of society's perception and male perception of hair? Because this is really where it gets so layered. Like we can start with society and then go male perspective.
Society, I think, definitely being a career woman in Australia, it depends on your industry. So if I'm a creative and I'm in that space, I think they'll be readily more accepted for me to have like locks or an afro. But if I'm a lawyer and more in that space, then maybe not so acceptable.
Yeah.
And I think that's more like in line with the way African Americans also have it in America, where it's like, it might be perceived to be too ghetto or whatever if you have your natural hair. And then if you're bald, it's like, oh, are you a lesbian? So it's like all these things where it's like, no, this is just my hair. Like, this is how I choose. And there's a lot of education that's needed in the Australian space and Australian society when it comes to our hair. They love to touch it without being allowed to, no provoking. People just reach out and touch it.
It hurts.
Like I'm a monkey in a zoo, which I absolutely hate. They don't know all about our protective styles. So when I go with my weave to work, they'll be like, your hair grew 10 inches over the weekend.
Yes.
So it's like, no. And then try to explain everything. So I feel like for people who don't know all about the nuances of our hair, really need to do their research.
Yeah, do their homework.
2020, you need to educate yourself.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think being here in the Czech Republic, it's been just like wow, like people are like, oh, your hair is different. Because when I first came, I had braids, and they're like, oh, I loved your hair. And this is what pisses me off. I'm gonna say that. I think it's this idea of long is beautiful, and that's the only thing. And I'm like, they're like, oh, you should do that hairstyle again, the one where your hair is long. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to, or at least not now, or at least not at your beckoning type of thing. It's like that type of thing. Because I think the idea of long braids is something similar enough to maybe what they perceive as like hair, if that makes sense.
And beautiful,
yeah. So I'm just like, okay, no. And then I think there's also the element of like every time, because we can tie our hair in different hairstyles. Black hair, you can do different things with it. So they'll be like, oh, you have a new haircut. Oh, you have a new haircut. I'm like, no, it's not a haircut. I just styled my hair differently. I just put curls in. I just left it straight. Like, there's so many things I can do with my hair. It's just, it's entertaining because, and that's one of the blessings of black hair, that we can do so much with it. And I think
you're never bored.
Yeah, you're never bored. We don't put enough like praise into it. We more focus on like teams or like, oh, this, that. But like the beauty is we can be all of these different things if we want to. So, that's definitely the beauty.
Yeah. And I feel like even like, I remember here when we had the model Daki. She's a popular South Sudanese Australian model, and she was on the show Australia's Next Top Model, and she had to cornrow her own hair on a photo shoot. Like, they just didn't have someone to do her hair at that particular photo shoot for that challenge. And it broke everyone's heart. Every, person who watched that was a person of color and understood the hair journey. It was so like, how can this top-rated show in Australia have this girl do her own hair? Like, so I feel like there's a lot of education that's needed. There's a lot of normalcy that's needed surrounding our hair. And we need to like let people come behind the curtain and see what's needed to protect and to style and to love our hair.
I'm with you.
So society, depending where you are, bruh, like because I love when I go to Zim and I like get my hair braided for like so cheap. Over here, it's such a luxury.
I'm with you. Yeah, for sure. And there's so much education that even needs to happen in schools. And I know, for example, even in South Africa, there was a huge case of like girls not being allowed to wear natural hair. And you already spoke about how we weren't allowed to wear it in our natural state, or too short, or, things like that. And it's like, the message that conveys to a young girl is like, this is not right. This is, you know, and already then you are othered from such a young age. When those are your years of self, you know, defining yourself, finding who you are, you're already grappling with so much as a young teenager. And then now there's this added thing of like, no, this isn't beautiful, you know, the standard of, so it becomes a bit, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm grateful that there's this movement towards like owning our hair and celebrating it as it is. Yeah, for sure.
But don't you think like that education also permeates to our male species?
Oh yeah.
So like a lot of all these things we're talking about, also like for the boys, when they look at us, they feel that way too. Like when they see a girl with natural hair, is she not as pretty as the girl who's team weave, or does she not have much of a social standing as the girl? It's so layered. I'm yet to see, like, it's a rising movement for sure, but more and more guys appreciating and loving our natural hair that they know is natural. Like they know when they see our weave, it's not a haircut, it's not they know it's a weave. But yet they want us to be celebrated when we're not really fully us.
But I think it's a whole thing. I think there's like you're saying, layers to it. I think too, in addition to that, they know our natural state, but I think also there's you are kept or you are well groomed, or if you have this hair that's done and spend money on, you know, because in a lot of places spending money on weave and wig and whatever, it's an expense. It's not cheap. So you look like, hey, you're a kept girl, or you really take care of yourself. And it's like, it's not the same anymore. There's just so many ways to it. But I don't know if males want to know or want to learn the hair journey or respect that, or it is going to take some time, because we're only just really embracing it as women
ourselves. So, well, the guys, let us know, listening in, you know what, how do you prefer your girls? Do you like it all? Do you like a specific subset? Or it'd be quite interesting to get some feedback from the guys, because it's such a valid point to make. Like, as you said, it might also be tied to like social standing, but I feel like it's also tied to what people define as beautiful. And I think because we've gone for this Eurocentric ideal of beauty for so long, we just think, as you said, even if it is a protective style, it's going to be long. You know, it's not going to be like short. You're not going to get the little short 8-inch braids. You're going to get nice long flowing as you can get, you know. Even with twists, they're very nice and thin and long. So you can, it's as if you have that long, fine hair. So it's so layered, because it's like, okay, where did we get this idea that this is the best thing to do?
This is beautiful. This is the best. This is, I just feel like as a people, as Black people, we have so many of these issues that we have to unpack and deal with, like all these little cultural and things that were ingrained that we have to unlearn or unprocess from our brains, because it's exhausting, bruh. Like,
it's so exhausting.
Flip. That's why we say it's layered, because it's layered. It's not black and white.
Layers. What do you think about like other cultures taking our hairstyles? So like cornrows, you know, being called boxer braids, or like all these things. What's your thoughts around that?
Have you heard of the term cultural appropriation? That's my thought on that. And I think, you know, I feel a way, because I see here a lot of, here in the Czech Republic, there are quite a lot of white people, not a lot, but I've seen a number with like locks, right? And then they represent the thing I hate most. It's like a sort of like, you know, unkept, like kind of like has no focus, you know. Then they kind of represent a particular person. It's like, do you know that this is the natural state of our hair if we just don't like comb it? Like, do you get that? That's where it stems from. Of course, I understand things like you know, Bob Marley popularized
Rastafarian,
the Rastafarian, you know, movement and things like that. But it's like they don't, I don't know, you know what I mean? And then at the same time, it's like, are they celebrating? Are they happy, that about us and our hair? And should we be happy to see it? And it's tough.
It's layered. Zvinemalayers.
Zvinemalayers. It needs to come from a good place, but I feel a way, especially when people commercialize it for their benefit, when Black girls and Black women are not celebrated for the same thing. That's where I feel about that.
Yes. And you can't call me ghetto for having cornrows at work and then go, oh, Khloe Kardashian looks hot in her boxer braids. Like, it can't come from the same mouth. Like, it just can't happen.
So either be for it or be against, like, choose. Like, but don't make it.
And also I find with a lot of these celebrities who are not of color and they do take these hairstyles, they don't give appropriate credit. So they rename them. But it's like, no. Actually, if you actually said, I got Bantu knots in my hair, we would be like, okay, you did your research. You know what that is. Yeah, so it's like, exactly. Whereas, like, I think there was a time when one of the celebrities had long cornrows, and they're like, Farrah Fawcett wore these in like one of the Bond movies. She had like cornrows and beads at the end. It's like, no, but you can't then credit it to Farrah Fawcett because she's like, a Caucasian lady. Like, think of the actual origin, like really read your research and give credit where it's due and treat us equally. As we said, you can't say I'm ghetto, then they have it, it's cool. Because sometimes you're like, that's just it. When we have it, it's not so good. When white culture has it, it's the coolest thing.
It's amazing.
Ever.
And it's filtered into so many things, like, body shape, and oh my gosh, it's like, ooh.
The list doesn't end.
It tortures me. And
we need another whole episode on cultural appropriation.
No, for sure.
But you know what? I was going to ask you, because I got asked this at work. I was talking about this and like, cornrows and all that. And they're like, yeah, but what about you guys with your weaves? Are you not appropriating from, because you are also like pretending to have silky fine hair?
Please, Amanda.
I was finished.
Please.
But
please.
But people need to let us know what they feel about cultural appropriation. Do they think people are over-exaggerating, be too sensitive? Or do they think, we should actually get credit for some of these hairstyles that people are recycling and pretending they've created? Please let us know. Be very keen to find out.
I'm getting upset. I'm upset.
Hair.
That's how I feel. I feel upset. I'm upset. Yes, please let us know.
We love our hair, though. We love our hair.
Yeah, no, we do. But it's such a beautiful thing, and just it's a crowning glory for sure. But yeah, we can go on and send through your responses to Amanda's question, your own questions and thoughts, like on what you feel about some of the things we've covered, because man. Zvinemalayers, and we can only delve deeper into some of these things. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of It's Layered. We appreciate you. We appreciate the support. If you want to hit us up, you can check us out on Instagram. It's layered, itslayered. Our email, if you want to send us an email, is itslayedpod@gmail.com. That's itslayedpod@gmail.com. And yeah, get to chatting with us. Let us know what it is, what to do. And
yes, and then we can delve deeper.
Girl, we chewing on some heavy topics out here. It's heavy.
Bruh.
It ain't light.
Hair is just too layered. You can't even do it in one episode.
No, you can't. We definitely need to come back. But thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
And bye. See you.